Good evening. I'm Epstein, and here we are with your metal market wrap-up. And this wrap-up is for Tuesday, and we're at the 12th of March, 2024. The time, 6:25 p.m. Central Time. All right, so today was a day where we saw hotter than expected inflation. And as usual, the naysayers let the market in that first half hour, if you were watching it, it was wild swinging. And by, I would say, 10 in the morning or so, the market had decided that the bulls had the case, and the market just kept running. Around 1:30, we were getting up pretty close to about a 9/10 to a 1% gain. And by day's end, the S&P did manage to close over a percentage point higher. Now, in the metal markets, we're backing off a little bit. And the big question, of course, is this the buying opportunity after a spike high? That's what everybody will ask themselves. On the energy markets, if you looked at the API numbers that came out after the close, you saw good declines in everything. So you're getting a little bit there of a bid, and natural gas still remains under pressure. And as I explained, you could get short covering, but there's no reason to buy it. You don't have warm enough weather here where you're using a lot of nat gas, and you certainly, for air conditioning and for heat, Chicago was 71 today. We're going to get snow on Sunday, but you're at that funny time of the year where this is what occurs. Bonds and notes today, well, you saw they were lower on the futures markets. You saw the metals lower, and you saw that the dollar was higher at the expense of most currencies. And we're getting a little bit of a reversal in that right now. So when you look at the gold market so far for the week, we're only tomorrow, Wednesday, we're down 1% for the week. Okay, it's $22. You're down a percentage point. You can see how the market made a short-term trading top right through there, but the pattern is still one of higher lows and higher highs. You haven't broken that pattern. You haven't given yourself a new one yet to worry about. Support's much lower. And you got to ask yourself, what about the Bollinger Band? Now, I believe in Bollinger Bands, all right? You got to learn how to use them. And Bollinger Bands, when you close these many days in a row over, you typically get a pullback in the market, but it's often, when this occurs, still a sign that a lot of strength is at work in the market, and this is your round of profit taking. What I keep my eye on is the red line. If this closes under 79, then the odds favor that the market's going to have more of a correction. If it doesn't, then this pullback, and tomorrow will be a key day for it, is the market going to hold right through here? When I look at the gold-silver ratio, gold is still stronger than silver as it's staying over the red line, which is the 18-day average of closes. In the silver market, you have a higher high, a lower low pattern. Okay. Did you lose the embedded reading? Not yet. So I'm really going to be geared in tomorrow on, do we lose those embedded readings or not? They often lead to more of a correction. They are not a sell signal. They are a signal that long positions might be cut back. That's what you got to worry about. In the copper market, right up to the upper band, that's often where the market stops. If you go back, look at what it did here, look at this area, look at this area, you can see what typically takes place, all right? But there is support under the market. The market's trying to believe that China is going to do things that it says, but we haven't seen that yet. But why was it up today? Well, the stock market going up, people just believe that the stock market's going to go on forever. And that is a mentality that is set in. Every single break in the market is shallow so far since October. When's the last time you saw a 5% break in these markets? You haven't. All right, not in a long time. And they continue to buy. At some point, you know that nothing grows to the sky. I don't know where that top is. I'm not looking for it. The trend is up until it's not up. In the platinum market, you went right up to what we talked about, the combination of the 200-day average and the upper Bollinger Band with an overbought reading. That's often an area that encounters the pros coming out of positions. It's exactly what I think. That is not a sell signal. It is a signal that came out of long positions. The trend is still up, but you are overbought in this market. And in the dollar, you had a couple of days where you were under the Bollinger Band and you've moved to the right-hand side. Now, what I had told you before is the first move underneath a 200-day average often gets fought about, and that's just what you're doing. You hit it there, you had 2 days under, and you came back today to fight at it. There's still resistance in the market up at the 100-day average in green and the red line, which is the 18-day average. So you're at a very interesting spot in the dollar index. Does it try to move higher or lower? Let me tell you something that will influence it tomorrow. We're going to get some of the reserve requirements out of the European Central Bank. They've been discussing this for a while. Ms. Lagarde talked about it last week when she said Wednesday would be a day where they possibly announce some reforms. I don't know what that means, nor do you just yet. They've been very closed-mouthed about it. Some people want to see the amount of deposit that you got to move from 1% up to double digits. Other people want to see it left alone. I don't know what's going to happen there. Let's wait and see what we get. Typically, we get that early in the morning, so you want to look at it. In the meantime, you're seeing how many of these Bollinger Bands are coming into play and how important they are. If you'd like to learn how to use them the way that I do, we have a simple charting course. You can click up here at any point to see it. There'll be an ad coming on next about it that I did, and you will learn in a day or so my technique. Then you start mastering it. I give you a couple weeks access while you're taking the course to my morning subscriber videos if you're not already a subscriber. And I think you'll find that between the charting software we give you, it's included in the package, the examples that you see, and seeing it every day as I explain it in the mornings, you start getting ingrained with it. If you'd like to learn more, watch this. Just click up here, go to iraepstein.com. Under the word education, everything's there about it. You have a good day. Welcome. I'm Ira Epstein, and I'm here to talk about my enhanced Bollinger Band course. Now, many of you have taken my regular charting course, and if not, you might think you know something about Bollinger Bands. As you know, Bollinger Bands are an algorithm designed to keep the market trading within it 95% of the time. And on a chart, it will offer on the top part resistance, on the bottom support, and the idea is the market will travel within them. We know that sometimes it latches onto that band, goes up or goes down. Well, how do you play with that? Can you pyramid the positions off that type of thinking? Well, I've applied all three of these into 13 different videos that teach you my concept of it. And from that concept, you're able to work with weekly charts and or daily charts. The 13 videos, each about 7 minutes long. The idea here is not to put you in school forever, but to teach. Now, if you haven't tried my complete futures research, I throw that in as well. Whether you've tried this or not, I think it's worth taking a look at. I think you're going to learn something from there. That research, by the way, covers twice daily market updates for you and access to what I call window envelope numbers, which I think are very important when looking at these Bollinger Bands. The next part is a trial to our charting software so you can make your charts look the same way that mine do. It's that simple. Where do you go with it and how do you get all this? It's simple. You go to our website, www.iraepstein.com. If you go to the word education, everything you need is answered there. You can also call my staff. They'll be happy to help you get set up. I'm Ira Epstein on the road to your education.